Let's talk about keeping your dog cool in the summer because they are covered in fur, but they still love to go out and do all the fun summer activities. So while you're having fun in the sun, we have to make sure that we're keeping their body temperature regulated so that they don't overheat. We're going to talk about some things that you probably already have in your house that you can use, as well as some products that might serve you and benefit your dog. And one of the most popular trendy things that I'm seeing this summer is cooling pads for dogs. These are self-cooling gel pads that your dog can sit on in their crate, in the car while you're traveling. You can put them on the floor, and because they are self-cooling, you do not have to put them in your freezer or in your refrigerator. They just take care of it themselves. The gel actually allows it to be a couple degrees cooler than the room is, and so it's always going to be a little bit cooler than whatever is going on in the environment. So your dog can lay on this, and chances are they're not going to be big enough for your dog to lay on it entirely, but as long as part of their body is on it, it's going to help bring their body temperature down. It also works really well for humans if you want to steal a corner of that while you're hanging out with your pup to help reduce just how hot they are. Now, you do want to be careful with this because they are gel pads, so do not leave your dog alone with this. If they're somebody that chews on things a lot and tries to swallow it, that is not good or healthy, so just make sure you're keeping an eye on it when your dog is involved with using those cooling pads. But I definitely love it. I went out and bought them for my dogs, and I'm very excited to use them this summer. Another thing that you can be using that is available in different stores is to have little ice packs or little cooling packs that they wear around their necks. So if you are going to the park and it's especially hot that morning, or if you are out and about doing things, you can actually attach it kind of like a collar, and they're just little gel cooling things. Some of them you can stick in the freezer and you can kind of freeze a little bit or make a little bit colder, and that allows them to cool down while you're doing things. So they're not able to sit on a gel pad. You can attach it to your dog, so while you're out and about, it cools them down just a little bit. Now, another thing that I really like does have to do with your freezer, and that is ice cubes. You can take their bowls, their water dishes, and put a little bit of water in it, and maybe even just a couple of ice cubes in that, and freeze it for about half an hour in your freezer so that there's a layer of ice, but there's still some water under that. Give it to them as an enrichment tool, and I've done videos on this before. This allows them to play to try to break the ice and get the ice cubes out and drink the water to stay hydrated, and cools them down at the same time. So you can give them ice cubes. You can also make ice cubes with things like fruit inside of it. So fruits and vegetables that are dog safe, you can freeze inside of it and let them then chew that to pieces to get the food out of it. You can even freeze their dog food, their kibble inside of it, and give it to them as a way to stay hydrated, as a way to cool down, and as a nice snack. Now, I also really like the idea, and this is something I did last summer for my dog Gemma, who is so much hotter than every other dog I've ever owned. She is a little ball of heat. I took a facial roller and kept it in my freezer to keep it nice and cool, and then I just used the facial roller to roll over her fur to cool her down. These are safe because they are made for human faces, and you just roll it right across their little bodies and help cool them down. Make sure you're not touching, their paws, the direct skin, but it's very, very safe, very, very easy, and then you can just stick it back in the freezer when you're done. You can clean it if you want in between. You can keep it in a bag in your freezer, whatever works best for you. And that just allows you to roll over their bodies so you can get a little bit on their heads and their necks and their backs. And it's like a little massage for your dog. I definitely loved using it last summer on Gemma and will 100% be using it again this summer as it's starting to get more and more warm out to make sure my dogs are staying cool. So you're looking for things that they can lay on to cool them down. You can even create kind of your own little pad for them to lay on. You can get creative. Put a towel down, maybe put a second towel down so it doesn't leak through, and then put some ice cubes in between and another layer of towels for them to sit on. You could even use it as an enrichment tool for them to dig out those ice cubes. You want to make sure you're using things like those cooling packs around their neck, or again, a cooling pad that they can lay on. You want to use ice cubes to have them hydrated, which you can put their food in. You can put other ice cubes in. You can freeze it in their dishes and use them as enrichment tools, which we have done videos on. I'll link some of those down below for you. And you want to make sure you're using things that you have access to. I had a facial roller that I didn't really use very much for me, but worked wonders on Gemma. So look around and see what cool things you have that you can also use for your pet that maybe you had for you in the first place. It is really important to make sure your dog stays nice and cool during the summer. So take them out to play in the sprinklers and take them for swims, and make sure you're not going out during the heat of the day, and all those things that we talk about again and again and again in these videos to make sure that your dog is safe and healthy and happy during during your summer fun. If you have suggestions for ways to keep your dog cool during the summer, drop them down below. We're forming a community conversation here on the channel. And if you've got questions, now is the time to let us know. We're dropping daily videos helping you navigate the world of dog parenthood to level up for your pup, to give them the best life possible, to make it as easy as possible for you to do so. We'll see you in tomorrow's video.